You guys, what is up? Welcome to the alternate future of the world. So, this is the last video. I've done a few minor changes in Europe and stuff like that. Like only a few minor changes. Like Germany took more land, France lost land, and then it's just all this mess in the Balkans. And then here, Russia completely takes over Mongolia, and now, and Montenegro and Albania both kind of like leave the war, basically. So yeah. So, and the U.S. and Canada both joined the Allies, and now Greenland, it's kind of just like taken over, like quite easy, and Ireland is like taking over again, even though there's much resistance to the British rule there. Dublin is taken, but Ireland doesn't surrender and keeps fighting. But they don't think they understand this will just lead to a higher chance of Britain not giving them independence. Like, they don't realize that. Because now eventually they surrender, and boom, it's not, there's no Ireland now. It's just Britain. It's not Britain and North Ireland. It's just Great Britain. And Kaliningrad is completely taken over by the Axis. Obviously, it was going to happen. Like, no need for any shockness if there is any. That's really bad. I don't think there's really any need for like borders. Like, obviously, Germany takes all of it. Actually, no. I'm gonna say Lithuania takes all of it because, you know, like Germany takes way too much now, and we need some bigger powers, you could say. So yeah, quite strong now, and Belarus is completely backstabbed, meaning that they will join a separate group of people along with Ukraine because they're not like directly supporting the allies because of Russia, and this would basically be for all like the Balkan nations too, and Cyprus, and some of these nations too, but all these nations would stay and stuff, and these don't really need to be in the war, but they are just because they want to. Ethiopia and South Sudan don't even need to be anywhere. I feel like all African countries don't need to. They just want it due to their own purposes. So yeah, that's what's happening. Alright, so yeah, if you're wondering why I put Antarctica purple, that's just because that's penguin land. All these nations don't really like directly support the allies. They're just there because they want land for their own personal interests. Brazil has a reason because they're in BRICS and stuff, but other than that, that's kind of really it, to be honest. These nations aren't going to do very well in the war because they're going to get invaded by both teams, basically. And that's exactly what happened to Belarus, as since they're like a vassal of Russia, you would basically say, like they take it over, and quite a large part of Ukraine is handed over to the Germans in a peace deal. So they will lead the war in exchange for peace, and Germany gets a bit of land from it. Alright, so there's not really major wars. There's some territorial action to get territory. But other than that, it's really nothing has really happened. Nothing involving a war, at the least, so far. You may think, oh, that's really unrealistic how Belarus is kind of like surrendered, right? Well, yeah, it is, but since it's the alternate future of the world, I can do whatever I want. So here is the world right now. All of these Balkan nations would merge, which makes apparently no sense. I just wanted to do it just for the sake of it because these Balkan nations would not stand a chance if Germany invades. Well, or Turkey, or both, because there's for some reason an alliance. Now the Balkan Empire has been formed. Yes, you heard it right. The Balkan Empire has been formed. Alright, that's just weird. This new empire would somehow completely defeat and humiliate the great Croatian Empire, and it forced them to surrender. Yeah, so doing pretty well, I would say. And they're doing quite well. Until annexed entirety. And now this is crazy. And this area around here capitulates in favor. And both Ukraine and get a share out of it. Okay, now they both just unite because they just want to. And Germany is gonna unite with Austria. Finally, like everyone's wondering like when's it gonna come? Well, here you go, finally. This is a finally for you. And so really unite because they're gonna get completely thrashed if they don't. These Balkan nations like unite with each other for obvious reasons. Here, like you know that, and Norway and Sweden both join a completely separate one, like just like the third one, separate ones. The tension between them like just ending basically. They're able to just unite with each other and stuff. So now, a very strong empire in the north. Finland would join this pack. And so on, so forth, countries are joining. They do, and it's war alliances now. Right, so now, due to this, all these countries unite, make the Kalmar Union, whatever it's called. And this would like kind of make like Denmark want to join. So they do and stuff. It's not really breaking like an alliance really. It's just because they join a different one. Because this is more like a full-blown country. And it automatically just leaves the war because it wants nothing to do with it. Well, technically, Denmark did get territorial gains all the way over here, technically, because they joined the country. But these two countries here would unite with each other for obvious defensive you know, they would probably still get completely destroyed. Like, no point. France and Italy would unite. Yes, you heard right. France and Italy have united. Switzerland stays independent. I don't know why you joined the war. So there's been quite a lot of major nations getting a lot of land. Like a lot of land. Time for some nations in Oceania to do something. Or in Asia, more like. China would launch operations into South Korea, which would quickly be successful as they're able to take a considerable amount of South Korean land, but not much due to South Korea's high tech. A treaty is signed and South Korea becomes quite weak. It's not even South Korea. It's more like East South Korea at this point. Not even South Korea, it's East South Korea. China, it's all this little land over here. It's not much you compare and the land mass of China, but it's quite a bit if you compare Korea. So this will just end the video here. So thank you guys for watching. And wait, there's one more thing. Yes, you heard right. Finally, Kim Jong-un has died. And now, seeing this opportunity, China would unite. Alright, so that will end the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. So just like and subscribe, and that would help me get to my goal of 30 subscribers at the end of the year. Thank you for watching.